All right, let's dive into one of the biggest, most complicated security debates happening right now, the battle over encryption backdoors. This is a fight that puts national security right up against your personal privacy. And believe me, how it shakes out is going to define our digital future. So what's really on the line? To really get what's at stake here, just look at this number, $11 trillion. That's how much money moves around online every single year, and it's all protected by encryption. It's the engine of the global economy, and it only works because of a fundamental trust that our data is actually safe.
So what exactly is this stuff? Well, think of encryption as the invisible shield for your entire digital life. It's just a bunch of really complex math that scrambles everything. Your bank info, your private DMs, your company's secret sauce, into unreadable gibberish. It's completely useless to anyone who doesn't have the specific key to unlock it.
So, just how critical is this digital shield? Well, as we're about to see, it's pretty much become the foundation of, well, everything in modern society.
And it's not just about buying stuff on the internet. You've got journalists who rely on it to keep their sources from being exposed. Hospitals use it to lock down your most sensitive health records. And yeah, our critical infrastructure. We're talking power grids, the stock market, the stuff that keeps society from falling apart. It all depends on strong encryption to stop catastrophic cyber attacks. It's a lifeline for so many different people.
Okay, so everything's protected, right? Well, here's the twist. This is where the conflict really starts. What if someone asked us to poke a hole in that shield on purpose? To build a backdoor into the very thing designed to keep everyone else out? You gotta understand, a backdoor isn't some glitch or a bug a programmer made by mistake. No, this is a purpose-built secret entrance. It's intentionally designed so that a third party, like the government, can just waltz past all the security and read whatever they want. And the user, they'd never even know it was there.
And that brings us to the huge, really controversial question at the heart of this whole thing. Should governments be able to force companies to build these secret backdoors into their products for law enforcement to use?
And the two sides could not be further apart. On one side, you have governments saying, look, we need this to catch terrorists and stop major crimes. They argue that without access, criminals are going dark, hiding behind a wall of unbreakable code. But on the other side, you have basically the entire security world screaming, you can't build a door that only the good guys can use. Any hole you create for them will, eventually, be found and used by the bad guys.
You know, to really break down the problem here, security experts have this fantastic analogy. They call it the keys under the mat problem. And that just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? A digital backdoor is exactly like that master key hidden under the doormat. Sure, the police might know where to look for it, but you've also just told every single burglar in the city where to find it too. There's just no way to guarantee only the right people will ever find that key.
So here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. From a technical computer science point of view, a backdoor is a security flaw. It's a weak spot, put there on purpose. The only difference is the intention behind it. But to a hacker, they look exactly the same, an open door.
And this isn't some new debate, you know. We've actually tried this before. Back in the 90s, the US government pushed something called the Clipper chip. It had a backdoor built right in. It took less than a year for researchers to find massive fatal security flaws in it. The whole program was a total bust, proving the concept was just fundamentally broken from the start.
So if we know this is a flawed idea, what happens if we do it anyway? Well, that's where we get into some really dangerous territory. Experts warn about a kind of domino effect.
One of the first things they point to is this really dangerous imbalance. Think about it. For regular, law-abiding folks using everyday apps, their security is suddenly shot. They're now vulnerable. But what about the sophisticated criminals this was all meant to catch? They just adapt. They move on to other secure tools, leaving everyday people to take the hit.
And that kicks off this whole chain reaction. It starts with good intentions, right? Create a tool to stop crime. But that tool is a technical vulnerability. Soon, hackers and foreign governments find it and start abusing it. Then the technology spreads, and before you know it, authoritarian regimes are using the exact same kind of tool to crush dissent and hunt down journalists and activists. The tool for safety becomes a tool for oppression. And this isn't just a what-if scenario. We've seen this playbook run before. Just think about China's social credit system, or Russia's massive SORM surveillance network, or the Pegasus spyware scandal that targeted journalists and politicians. In every case, tools that were supposedly for security were turned into weapons against regular people.
And then there's the economic cost. The world is already projected to lose over $10 trillion a year to cybercrime. Experts argue that if we intentionally weaken our best defense against it, that number would absolutely skyrocket. And this all leads to what might be the most telling part of this whole debate. This dangerous double standard that's right at the center of it, and the nearly unanimous opinion of the people who actually build these systems.
I mean, just look at these numbers. They really speak for themselves. 97% of cybersecurity professionals say backdoors would make us less safe, not more. Meanwhile, huge majorities of the public want stronger protections and don't trust government surveillance. The experts and the people are pretty much on the same page here.
And this, right here, might be the biggest bombshell of all. It reveals this incredible double standard. The very same governments that demand companies weaken encryption for you and me, they use the absolute strongest, most secure, no backdoors allowed encryption to protect their own secrets. They know a backdoor is a vulnerability. That's exactly why they'd never use one themselves.
So, at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one simple question. It's the one that security experts say nobody has a good answer for. If you create a master key for the good guys, how in the world do you stop the bad guys from eventually making a copy? Because once that key exists, the lock is broken. For everyone. That's something to think about.